I'm in the mood. I'm feeling rude. I'm feeling hot. I want to run. The feeling exciting. So darling, let's do something. I want to rub my body on your body. Body on your body. Let me rub my body on your body. I want to rub my body on your body. I want to rub and love up. I want to rub and kiss up. I want to rub and jam up. I want to rub and rub up. I want to rub my body on your body. Rub my body on your body. Let me rub my body. Rub my body on your body. I just get paid. I want to play. The vibes is right. I wanna hug up tight. No time to waste. I wanna work my ways. So come on, babes. Give me a taste. I wanna rub my body on your body. I wanna rub my body on your body. Let me rub my body on your body. I wanna rub my body on your body. I wanna rub and love up. I wanna rub and kiss up. I wanna rub and jam up. I wanna rub and rub up. I wanna rub my body on your body. I wanna rub my body on your body. Let me rub my body on your body. I wanna rub my body on your body. Pulling on. I'm feeling. 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 Smoke in my brain. I wanna do my thing. Work up a sweat until I soak in wet. Rub your body, show no mercy. Because I'm feeling tipsy, I'm feeling freaky. I wanna rub my body on your body. I wanna rub my body on your body. Let me rub my body on your body. I wanna rub my body on your body. I wanna rub and love up. I wanna rub and kiss up. I wanna rub and jam up. I wanna rub and rub up. I wanna rub my body on your body. I wanna rub my body on your body. Let me rub my body.
If you are looking to have your statutory declaration, affidavit of income, identity, damage or lost passport, lost license, tenancy agreement, agreement of settlement, power of attorney, last will and testament, and certification of documents, then you need to visit the Alistair Collins firm, located at the Killian Mall, 162 Lamaha Street, in Georgetown between Camp and Waterloo Street. Alistair Collins is a Commissioner of Oaths and a Justice of the Peace. Make certain you visit him or call for more information at 649-6410 or 685-6448 or 503-1451. And there's adequate parking available. Go down to the Alistair Collins firm and have all of your legal issues settled and brought to the fore. Alistair Collins Firm. Contact them at Alistair Collins Firm.
That little ditty we used to torment our teachers with when we were kids goes something like this. Onward, upward, Mary had a go. Day by day she tied it to a rope, till at length they got past the rope, and Miss Mary had to run behind it. We had a lot of fun with that, but do you actually know how beautiful these words are? Here's the Song of Guyana's Children by W. Hawley Bryant. Born in the land of the mighty Roraima, land of great rivers and far-stretching sea, so like the mountains, the sea, and the river, great, wide, and deep in our lives would we be. Onward, upward, may we ever go, day by day in strength and beauty grow, till at length we each of us may show what Guyana sons and daughters can be.
All right, just for a minute, I thought we weren't going to make it here at all. But here it is that we are with tonight's episode of Straight Up. Lots of things we want to talk about. We have Adam Harris with us, veteran journalist. I have a couple of questions for Adam. And then we have a young lady who was admitted in the maternity ward of the Georgetown Public Hospital. She was tested for COVID-19. The test came back negative. Not so long after, and I'm not talking about a month or 2 months or 3 months after. I'm speaking of not so long after she was tested right there in the same maternity ward at the Georgetown Public Hospital, positive. Then not so long after, negative. It's a pretty sad story. You've got to hear it. Thank you all for tuning in. Like I've said, we have Adam Harris with us this evening. I have some questions for Adam. In fact, we all should be a bit concerned about this situation here. And I thank you much for sharing the link. We don't spend half hour or an hour asking you to share the link. You do that in the beginning. We appreciate that. At the end of the program, we just go about our business. But thank you so much for sharing the link. Now, this guy has been accused or is accused of burning down most of the Brickdam police station. I don't know, but I got some interesting to talk to you guys about this particular story. Let's bring Adam Harris on, veteran journalist. He's been around for over 102 years. He is still with us. He's a good guy, except when there is full moon. And I say this, you've got to be careful with Adam whenever there is full moon, because it's a different Adam, a different Adam. Adam, why do you behave like that whenever it's full moon? Why?
Well, because the full moon is a time for old people to sleep, because they can't run outside and play catch and all the kind of thing anymore. So when the moon is full, I got a glass window at the back and I enjoy it. You mean I want to turn a werewolf? I can't turn anything else, my brother. I'm only me.
Well, I'm not going to touch on whether you have what it takes to turn into a werewolf, or whether I'm not going to get into that, because we're going to head down a road of uncertainty.
I like that road.
Adam, it's good to see you. You have some nice oldies playing in the background.
Yeah.
We all will appreciate if you turn those. Here,
All
here.
right.
Beyond the sea, somewhere,
That's
there's
right.
someone
That's right. When
someone
you're old
waiting
like
for
me,
Adam.
you
Adam,
turn
you're in
back the
love.
clock.
You're behaving as though you're in the transport club.
No,
Oldies.
I'm in love with me. No, that's Bobby Vera's radio just keeping me company until I'm ready to sleep,
You
which is a
can't
short while
be
from now.
on the number one talk radio of Guyana and push somebody else oldies. But we'll give Bobby Vera that little plug. Oldies indeed. Oldies but goodies. Give my regards to Bobby Vera whenever you see him.
All right.
Adam, lots of things happening in our country. Lots and lots of things. Apart from those things of which we will get into shortly, how have you been, especially during this COVID-19 pandemic period?
I've been good. I took all the precautions. I took the vaccine. I just tried to keep healthy. Among other things, I boost my immune system. I mean, old people like me, there's so many things you can use. People talk about the ginger, the turmeric, the lemon. I boil that and I drink that, and I'm good.
You boiled that, you drank it, and you're good. You're good as gold, huh?
But I
Adam?
don't know. Probably like diamond.
Probably like diamond indeed. We see already the trench crappos are out. The trench crappos are out, and they launched the first attack on Adam Harris. Adam, you soap drinker.
Oh, well.
Adam,
Soap is a
don't pay
good thing
those
for old
people any
people.
mind, man. Don't pay those
Well, I
people
can't
any
see
mind.
them. I can't see the chat, and I don't know what they're saying, and it doesn't bother me.
And when they say these things, Adam, they have other people that are watching, that I got to be careful when you speak, when you respond to something. I got to watch how I make my facial expression, because it gets to people. This facial
It
expression.
does?
Adam,
Well.
the
Mhm.
COVID-19 pandemic and so forth, how have you been, and how's the country in that regards? 9 persons have died today, taking the total to about 816 or 817.
Mhm.
What's
Well,
happening,
they
sir?
didn't die today. They didn't die today. I saw some of them dying as late as August. They're now posting those things.
Okay.
Um, there are people who, if you notice now, the age group getting younger. They used to be in the 70s and 80s and all of that. I see some 50s dying. You have to take the basic precautions. I mean, it was last week, I think, or a week before, I was in a press conference with Dr. Karen Cummings, and I was making the point that about between 60 and 70% of Guyanese have underlying conditions. We're either hypertensive, we're either diabetic, or we're both. Um, some is genetic, some is lifestyle. But once we recognize that we have some underlying condition, we have to be a little more careful. Some of us don't know. I mean, I test my blood pressure. I have the equipment at home. I test my blood sugar, so I try to keep abreast of my health. Many people don't, there are people who run around. Um, some of them actually collapse with a stroke because they didn't know that their pressure was high. Some people lapsed into diabetic coma because they didn't know that they were diabetic. Um, and that's something I'd advise everybody to do. Just test yourself. Exercise it, I mean, that's a nice thing to do. Simple. A lot of us used to walk to school. Now we go to the
Minibuses,
taxi
private
service.
cars, bicycle,
Yeah.
TBR, everything.
Right. So we allow our bodies to become kind of lax, But there are some things that we need to do, especially at this time. You can't leave anything for chance. The only person who can help you is you yourself. So with the pandemic, you got to help yourself. CN Sharma is in hospital. There are some other people I know who are in hospital. I had friends who died recently. I had friends who were there and they recovered, thank God. Um, but COVID isn't nice. It really isn't. It's something to be scared or scared of, and it's something that uh, we really, really, really should avoid. I see in the US, for example, they're saying that the numbers are going down. That's great. I wish we can say the same thing in Guyana. A lot of us are still unvaccinated. A lot of us are still unhealthy. Um, but I suppose that's life.
It is what it is. And I'm sure advice coming from you, words of wisdom indeed. Adam Harris is with us. Just let me have you guys know, because I'd like for Adam Harris to be part of this interview that I have coming up shortly with a young lady who gave birth to a healthy baby a couple days ago at the Georgetown Hospital maternity ward, and she is still to receive her baby. She was tested positive, I'm sorry, negative. Minutes after they tested her or whatever, she will tell her story. She was positive. Then they tested her again, she's negative. They sent her home without her baby. You will hear that story. It's a very, very sad, heartbreaking story to hear this mother plea for her newborn baby. But before we get to her, I want us to take a look at this, Adam. As of now, this is the suspect. The police have claimed, sorry, that he has confessed to begin with. What is your take on the police version of this young man confessing to a crime that majority of members of the public do not believe he committed?
Well, there are many, many things that appear to be wrong. In the first place, his address isn't what the police say it is. At least we couldn't find that address anywhere in Lodge. Um, Princess Street, we just couldn't find it. A colleague of mine, Ivor Wharton, went down and they tried to find it. Uh, the one suggestion is that it might be in Lodge housing scheme, but that hasn't panned out either. So I don't know. The second thing about that is this man used that sponge mattress, where we know a foam mattress, to start a fire. When I heard that, I was surprised. Now, I would like anybody to try to light that thing. Just try lighting it. It doesn't go up in smoke. It, it gets black and it shrivels, and that's about it. I've never seen one that burn long enough to have a fire on it that could start a fire. I've never did. I've asked a lot of people about that, and nobody could tell me, yes, they've been able to light one of that. It would be interesting, Mark, if you could demonstrate lighting that thing to get a flame. Would be interesting. Very interesting. The second thing about it is I listened to one of the lawyers, Daniels, issuing a statement today, and he said Mr. Green claimed, that's a suspect, claimed that he was beaten. He claimed that he smelled smoke earlier, told the policeman, he was ignored. Other prisoners claimed that they told the policeman and he was ignored. Now, I can't picture Mr. Green being in that prison Rohi's five-star hotel.
Adam, Mr.
Yeah, Mark. Sorry, you seem to be having problems.
Yep, sorry about that. Our server went down at the studio. I thought for a moment it's you, but go right ahead, sir. Continue. My apologies to our listeners.
Yes, I was saying that this fella is in the lockups down there, and it's not the kind of. I visited it when it was just finished, and while they have cells, those cells aren't closed, so the people can move from cell to cell. The people talk about the cell at the back being the one where you got the mess and the water and all of that, and the one at the front is a dry one. Now, was he in front? If he was in front and he was lying on that mattress, it would have been okay. If he was at the back, the mattress would have been wet. So I don't know what he did. I don't know how he did it. Start that fight. According to the statement by the lawyer, when I don't know if they took him back to the cell and they showed his hand couldn't even pass through the hole in the vent. And the vent isn't tilted upward so you can push your hand and get up. It's tilted downward. So if he had lit that thing, which was fast burning, yeah, that's one of them. It's so fast burning that he couldn't hold it. Well, he had a piece of wire, they said. So I think one would like to see them lighting that thing. It would be interesting for the police to demonstrate that thing burning to the media. There are so many things that if people raise doubt and the police say this is so, then let's go and show the media how this was done and how it could have been done. That hasn't been done as yet. Um, no one is available to answer questions. It's interesting. And then, go on.
Let me say this, Adam. It seems as though the police force, the hierarchy, the political operatives in the police force are selecting their own friendly media, those media houses that are closely attached to the PPP, the installed PPP regime. And so I say this because we don't want the police to demonstrate whether a piece of sponge could be lit and cause that sort of damage, to the police station. We need forensic experts to be talking about these sort of things, not the police, as to whether indeed, whether this guy, as they claim, Mr. Clarence Green, has admitted. That is according to the police. Now, a real forensic expert would be able to say, if this piece of sponge is lit, is it a possibility that it could cause that sort of damage? We don't know as yet, right? The other thing that you've just mentioned that we all have heard, and it's something that in the beginning right here on 107.1 FM, we questioned the authenticity of Mr. Green's, first of all, his address, secondly, his name, etc., etc. And now the police came out in a report, according to a PPP propaganda news entity, is saying that the police is now admitting that he gave them a wrong name, he gave them wrong address, he gave them all the wrong information. Now, Adam, you're not a lawyer, I'm not a lawyer, but we know lawyers are watching. If the police now admitting that this guy lied to them about so many things, what makes the police think now that what he said allegedly about this fire is the truth?
Well, it's a question of being selective, we can always decide what we want to accept and what we don't want to accept. Now, if the police are saying that his name was wrong, that's interesting. What is his correct name then? He gave a wrong address. We've published his photograph, I'm sure he would have had relatives who would have come out and say, hey, this is so, this is so. Has that been done? I don't know. Um, we haven't heard anything about that. Since the police say it's the wrong name, have they been able to ascertain the correct name? And if so, why haven't they made that public so that we can go out and investigate?
You know, the thing is, though, the police is lying about this guy giving wrong name. I suspect, and majority of the people, and look, I'm not sitting here to speculate, but it's okay for me to construct and deconstruct or reconstruct, sorry, a crime scene. And all I'm saying is that that address may have been given by a police writing that so-called confession statement. Now, the police is now, according to a PPP mouthpiece media house, is that the police is now admitting that the guy has given a wrong name. It is the same police through a press release said that the guy's name is Clarence Green. Now, I have gotten in touch with some family members. They are saying that his name is Clarence Green. Of course, Akeem may be either his first or his middle name. But the police has issued the correct name of this man. The family members are accepting that name. They're saying, yes, that is his name. Now, the police, according to a PPP propaganda media house newsroom, that is now saying that the police is saying that his name is wrong. Adam, Nancy stories, man, you've been a journalist for years. Nancy stories coming from the police?
If this man's relatives say his name is Clarence Akeem Green, then that's who he is. If the police say the name is wrong, then what is the correct name? What's the name that they have? We don't know. I don't know. They haven't made that public. This fire occurred on Saturday, and that's something that, the lawyers and former Assistant Commissioner of Police Paulson, everybody is saying, this place is burnt. In a hurry, you clear the debris. So that in itself would inhibit any investigation. And that's something that has a lot of us worrying. I hear they say that the fire was politically motivated. It would mean then that some police or policemen or some criminal, in this case Clarence Green, is affiliated to a political party, and the party got to him and got him to start the fire using a lighter and his phone. I don't know. I really, really don't know. I heard this political motivated claim and overseas link before when the Ministry of Health was burnt. And the fella they called the general, he was named a lot. The general went to court subsequently after he got away from Diamond Police Station. And he was freed because there was no evidence linking him to any crime. Now, Akeem or Clarence or whatever should be charged. It seems as though he's going to have very good legal representation. And whether that charge can stick is going to be interesting. Meanwhile, he's being denied his freedom. He committed an armed robbery. Perhaps the victim of that robbery can come forward.
Allegedly committed an armed robbery because he has not 72 hours has already expired. And we haven't heard from the police whether they have charged him for that crime or not. So we can't say that he committed a robbery, allegedly.
Okay, allegedly commit. And the victim of that robbery hasn't come forward as yet either. There's a lot wrong. A lot wrong. Whether this issue was well thought out, it's another story. I am trying to picture, why would a prisoner, it happened in Camp Street Jail, I know. but the conditions were different. Why would he, in this place with a lot of other prisoners, light this fire? The other prisoners should have come forward. Instead, I hear that when he went to Sparendam police station, he confided in prisoners. So when he was doing this thing, was nobody seeing? Was nobody there?
You
I
know,
don't know.
Adam, the story isn't adding up. The police in a press release last evening said that these two brilliant lawyers representing the young man, they went to take a statement from the young man. They're from Hughes, Fields, and Stobie's office, law firm, Ronald Daniels and Kiswana Jefford. The police in a release last evening is actually saying that these two lawyers, after meeting with their client, Clarence Green, aka Akeem, that these two lawyers are fabricating the story, and that this thing, obviously they're pointing direction in the direction of the lawyers, that the lawyers or they're being political or politically motivated. I find this very disrespectful. The police force has, after the first release, they issued a second release and they removed political.
Look,
What's happening at the guy?
No. I wouldn't pick on the police. Let me tell you, when what the hell his name is, was arrested for killing the man in number. These two brothers, Isaiah Henry, when their brother was arrested, other relatives claimed that he was at the house and there was some radio or telephone communication with Nigel Hughes, who was at the mortuary doing the post-mortem and all of that. The police subsequently said that this could not be true, and they charged those people for bearing false witness. Charge the lawyers. If the lawyers are doing the identical thing, going out there and promoting false news, charge them. The lawyers aren't above the law. If you say that the lawyers were...
No, you are correct. I want us to stick a pin. Our executive producer just said that we have someone else with us here. I want you to hear the story, and I want our listeners to listen keenly to this young lady's story. And if possible, we appreciate if you share the link so that others can hear this story as well. There she is. Give birth just the other day. Yes. Good evening. How are you doing, ma'am?
I'm really hurt right now.
Thanks for being so brave and coming on air to talk your story. I must give you full kudos for doing that, because there are lots of other persons who go through similar sort of stories in terms of going through pains or whatever, and they're always afraid to come and talk their story. But I give you full kudos and credit for doing this. Why are you hurt right now? Talk your story, please.
Because I don't have my baby with me. I went to labor Sunday night at Georgetown Hospital around 7 o'clock. 9 o'clock, they take me upstairs to the admission labor ward. I was checked by a doctor. The doctor explained everything to me, asked me questions pertaining the delivery and stuff like that. When she finished, she told me that she gonna swab me for the COVID. I was like, okay. She opened 2 new packs of swabs and swabbed my left side nose and my right side. A couple minutes after, she came back and she said, I'm negative. Okay, so I'm in labor all night until 5 o'clock in the morning. Then the doctor checked with me again. When the doctor checked with me, they told me that, all right, I was near time to deliver, and they rushed me into the labor room. I gave birth around 6 o'clock or a little after 6, I think. Everything was okay. I push out a healthy, bouncing baby. I go in the labor ward, the delivery labor ward, with 4 more other mothers who to bring me baby and they tell me I could breastfeed. In order for me to breastfeed, I had to be negative with every test that I did, HIV, the COVID test and everything. Whilst we was there sitting waiting for go upstairs in the maternity ward now, they didn't have any space, so they had me downstairs waiting all morning. Around 11 something, the doctor asking for my name. She calling out my name and she asking. And I said it was me. So one doctor came to me and she was like, we did your COVID test and it came back positive. I was like, last night the doctor told me I'm negative, so how am I positive? I said, what's going to happen to my baby? She tell me that in 48 hours, my baby can get discharged. And seeing that I'm not showing no symptoms of the virus, I can get discharged in 24 hours. So I said, then she asked me who going to take care of my baby. So I said the grandmother and the father. So she said, all right. So I was like, okay then. So I feel a little satisfied that she said that 48 hours the baby can go home, and I know I was going home the next day. They take me into the isolation ward at the maternity ward where other mothers was placed there with the same situation as me. In nighttime, like around 7 o'clock, the doctor come back to me again. She tell me they gotta send me to the COVID hospital. So I said, I only get a couple more hours. They'll have to take me there. I'm not sick. You know, I was negative. Then you have to tell me positive. I breastfeed me baby and all these things. Then I leave here alone. When they come to take me to the COVID hospital, the nurse, I called one of the nurse and I was like, why you moving me? Like, I can't believe you're moving me. Like, a couple more hours. Like, this is uncomfortable. You get me baby. I can't enjoy me baby. Nothing at all is not fair. She was like, oh, they gotta get more space, put more patient. So anyway, the ambulance take me up there. So yesterday morning, I was discharged after 9. My husband keep doing the run around at Georgetown Hospital for the baby. Yesterday when he go, they tell you how the baby gotta do some PCR test. You go back today, they tell you that I gotta wait till Sunday for get me baby. Sunday. I do back a corona test this afternoon and it showed negative. I want to get me baby out today. Me baby are crying. And my husband go there this afternoon. Me baby hollering and nobody paying no attention to these babies. It's not only me alone. It's not only me alone. Oh, I could sleep in it till Sunday without my child. They involved welfare. Nobody doing nothing. Them okay. They send me baby showing no sign of the symptoms. None. Why I have my baby in there?
I mean, that's a good question. If the baby is showing no signs, no signs at all, I don't know. But before, just calm down for 1 second or a couple of seconds. Adam, let me bring you in, man. You've heard it. What's happening, really? Your microphone, please. Your microphone is off.
Sorry.
That's okay.
What I can tell you is that it's interesting that this girl tests negative, positive, and negative again in according to her in about 3 days. I mean, that's surprising. That's strange. If you test positive for COVID, they advise you to quarantine for 14 days because the virus is active in your system and all of that. So for at least 6 or 7 days, this girl should have been tested positive all the time. So the test negative, positive, negative, something is wrong. The other thing about transferring her to the infectious diseases hospital at such short notice is interesting. You take her there because you say she tested positive. Why not let her go home and advised the relatives to take all the precautions and look at her. A lot of people have tested positive for the virus and they have been home. My grandson, 2 Saturdays ago, tested positive. He came home. I mean, he panicked. He said, he asked me if he can die. I say, far from it. By Tuesday, he was up and about because whatever he did, he had a very strong immune system. By Wednesday, he felt perfect, but I still insisted that he quarantine. The people from the Ministry of Health called him. They spoke with him. He said they called him again yesterday or today, I'm not sure which. And he told them the same thing, but he's quarantined. The girl could have gone home. If the house is very, very crowded and all of that, I could understand the precaution. But you take her to the infectious diseases hospital, she tests negative again, and then you release her. Somebody must say what is going on with the tests. Was it a false positive in the first place? Because she tested negative a day before, and then you test positive, do another test.
Well,
Something is wrong.
they have done, and good point, Adam, they have done at least 3 tests, if I heard correctly. The first negative, the second positive, and the third negative. Am I correct, ma'am?
Correct.
Good.
And I'm home already also.
Yeah.
I'm not at the hospital. They already discharged me.
How long have you been discharged? How long since you've been discharged?
Just yesterday morning, around 9 something, I'm discharged.
Is there any reason why they're saying that you will get your baby Sunday?
They said they run PCR test on him and I have to wait till by Sunday. Today they run the test.
But if you test negative,
are okay to have PCR test done on them. I don't know.
Yes,
no. But if you test negative, the baby has no sign or symptoms to begin with. Children, have a remarkable immune system, very, very remarkable immune system. So I don't know that they have to keep the baby. The final test on the mother is negative. Well, you want to tell me that the baby going to be positive at this stage?
I don't know. This sounds very ridiculous indeed. I'm not a medical person, but we are listening to what this young lady has to say, her experience. She's saying she was tested negative the first time, positive the second time, negative the third time. What space of time when you were first tested negative, how long after did they conduct the second test on you?
They do one set of tests the night.
Oh.
That's what I'm telling you. When they do the first test was 2 swab, and that's what they said. The next morning when they come and tell me the next day, they say one's positive and one is negative. They didn't run like 2 sets of different tests. They test me once with 2 different swabs. With my left nose and my right side nose.
Girl, you're an interesting person.
This afternoon, I did a COVID test and it showed negative.
Is it a rapid test or the PCR?
No,
the rapid test.
This afternoon.
Well, Mark, that girl is an interesting girl.
Yeah.
She right nose negative and she left nose positive.
That's according to those people. So did you have to pay for these tests?
No, I paid for the one that I did this afternoon. The one at Jackson Hospital is what the doctor did.
And how much you paid for the one this afternoon? Just curious.
5,000.
Okay. How are you feeling right now? Obviously, you give birth to a bouncing, healthy baby boy. Yeah.
I'm in pain because every time I watch at my baby cradle and I lie down inside of the room, seeing me child, I can't breathe. All day crying since last night. I crying. I can't eat nothing at all. And it's trying to control your baby. Say, well, you can't discharge your own baby and all them nonsense when me go to the hospital. And I can't go back at the hospital because I'm supposed to be positive, right?
No, you're negative.
Why there's what
Carry your
I can't go back at the hospital.
So now
carry your negative result.
So now you cannot go back at the hospital. You have your baby there. Look, you've got to go there tomorrow with a lawyer. And if I could,
I can't do this.
if I can have a lawyer, in fact, I will call on a lawyer to make a phone call for you. I know Nigel Hughes is always ready, or Darren Wade. I will get in touch with Mr. Nigel Hughes or Darren Wade or one of the lawyers to say, hey, step in, intervene on this young lady's behalf. So you describe what's the maternity ward like? What is it like there?
Oh my God! Oh gosh, I'm not gonna shame to talk about this.
Talk about it.
It's very nasty. I did not take a shower in there. I did not brush my teeth in there. The sink, they have a bucket in the sink that you have to turn on your pipe to wash your hands when you use the washroom. The isolation part, no sink. None. It's very nasty in the washroom.
The toilet?
Very nasty.
The toilets, do they flush?
Yeah, it's flush. Toilet is flush, but the sink, they have a bucket in there that maybe the sink probably not working. So the bucket is in there that when you turn on the pipe, the water goes in the bucket instead. When you go in the isolation ward, no, there is no sink. None.
Wow.
When you go and use the washroom, you got to turn on the bathroom pipe to wash your hands.
How are
the pad, the pad, stuff we got, the thing we got to put your pads in, it overflowing. Nobody in there. Oh my goodness. Stink.
I know a couple of years back, right? I know a couple of years back, Adam, that
Hearing you.
there were 3 and 4 pregnant women on a bed. Under the coalition, it has changed. What is it like now? How many of you guys on one bed?
Well, the only one because in the labor ward, because I only met the labor ward. I didn't make the upstairs ward, right? Mm-hmm. So it was just one of us on the bed, and I'd be sitting there waiting because I said I don't have space upstairs, and until mothers get discharged, then the 5 of us would go upstairs. So that's why I was shocked when she came around 11 something to tell me I am positive with COVID, knowing that I was actually going upstairs because I had to be negative for you give me my baby to breastfeed. You're not going to give me my baby to breastfeed if I am positive with COVID. Now, where did the test came from? All of a sudden, after 11, I don't breastfeed my baby. My midwife told me my baby is okay.
I don't know. I have maybe, Adam, do you have any question for this young lady? Go ahead, sir.
No, my daughter gave birth at that hospital, but that was a long time. That was 1999. And she was a nurse there, and at the time there was a general strike. She spent one day in the hospital. You didn't have COVID. As soon as you give birth and all of that, everything is hard. They bring your baby to you for, they say, bonding. If they brought the baby and she breastfed the baby, so there was some bonding. Now, if they take away the baby, I mean, because she's now positive and negative at the same time, somebody got to explain something.
Someone has to explain something. And you're saying, ma'am, that...
I didn't even see what my baby finger looked like. I was in so much pain. I said, when I go upstairs in the ward, I can check my baby out, I don't know what my baby look like, but the face alone. Does the face? Does the face?
So you're saying when you went back to the hospital, they're not letting you in. They say you can't go in. You can't see your baby.
I didn't went back, actually. Sorry, I didn't went back. Actually, they told me from the COVID hospital that I cannot go back there. So I didn't went back since I get discharged. My child father he doing the up and down at the hospital.
Yeah. And I can imagine what you guys are going through, but more so what you are going through. Waiting.
And there's a lot of more mothers.
This is so sad. Anything else you want to say before you go? We may have lost her. I hope our operator, who, mind you, has 1 more day or 2 more days for probation. We are still observing him. Yeah, we're still observing him. Sorry about that. Go right ahead. Yeah. Anything else at all? Because people are listening to you all throughout Guyana and around the world. I know that they're doctors. Maybe the health minister, Dr. Frank Anthony, is also listening, or his 3 highly paid advisors. What message you want other than your baby back? Of course, we know.
All I need is that these people just need to explain stuff more better to you. Tell you the truth. Don't be making mistakes like this. Don't be leading people on and breaking them like this. It's not right. I could get a mental breakdown right now for they telling me I'm negative. They're giving me baby. I breastfeed. Then you come to tell me positive, man. Oh, why would they do something like that? They need to speak the truth. Tell you the truth. Do things the right way. They need to do things the right way. It's not right what they're doing. They're pushing the thing up in your nose like they want to kill you.
No, that don't kill.
All right.
Like, please, you guys please just treat people better than this, man. He's human being. Not everybody is the same. I need my baby home tomorrow. That's all I could say right now.
You've named your baby. You guys have named the baby.
Yeah, Jaquan.
Jaquan. That's a beautiful name. Yeah. All of us, all the people are going to pray for a safe return of Jaquan. Your baby will be in your arms as soon as possible. Yep, you'll get to hug that baby. What I can promise you is that later on, when I'm off the air, I will make contact with Mr. Nigel Hughes to see whether he can intervene on your behalf, or maybe Mr. Darren Wade, or one of those vibrant lawyers like Nigel Hughes and a couple of others, like Darren Wade and others. Thank you so much for your time, but more so, thank you so much for being brave to come on and tell your story. Thank you so much.
Yes, you're welcome.
All right.
All right, have a good night.
Good, you too. Adam?
I
don't know. She described the maternity ward, the washroom, the condition of the place. I could just imagine.
One of the things that is happening now, and we lost a lot of nurses. We trained a lot. Some of them really were untrainable. And you put them there. The work ethic would be sadly lacking. Some of the nurses who can really work, I don't even know if they're still being locked out. I don't know what's happening. I haven't heard anything about that. Is there a nurse shortage? I don't know. But, I mean, a public health facility should be the example for health in this country. And the situation that girl described is horrible. The Sanitex bin should be cleared. I mean, you if you got a private firm, but they have this thing that Keith Burrows had built a furnace like. Christ, how difficult is it to empty them and burn them right there?
You know, not only that, I saw photographs of the New Amsterdam, or what is said to be the New Amsterdam hospital. Horrible, horrible. I saw pads on the ground with blood on it. Forgive me, listeners and viewers, please do. But what I suspect, though, is that these people who are in charge of the health system in Guyana just don't give a damn. Frank Anthony and his three advisors, two of whom I know personally, are stooges, Ramsamy and Berry Ramsaram. Stooges. Something is
That's not
wrong.
fair
And
comment.
in any other part of the world, Ramsamy and his three stooges would have had to go. You said something, Adam?
No, that is not fair comment. It ain't nice to call big qualified men stooges. They're just doing what they are doing because that's what they know to do. You know, I mean, perhaps they don't even get to the maternity ward. If somebody gets this message to them, I'm sure they'll go to the hospital and they'll check. Because a lot needs to be done. I always tell people that the Georgetown Public Hospital is the best of the hospitals they got. I always say that. But if what I'm hearing now suggests otherwise, then something is wrong.
Something is more than wrong. You know what I mean? And this is sad. That young woman needs to get her baby as early as possible with her. I don't know. The health system sucks. But what is interesting, though, is that she took 3 COVID-19 tests. The first one negative. The second
No.
one positive.
No. You got it wrong. They did 2 tests at one time. 2 swabs, one in one nostril, one in the other nostril. One come back negative and one come back positive. So there's what they're telling you. So half of her is COVID, the other half is not COVID.
Oh, yeah, 2 tests at the hospital, but she did an independent test yesterday or today, sorry.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
Do you know what's the budget for the ministry?
No. Off the top of my head, no. I mean, that was passed a long time ago. It was among the top 3. Money went to health, education, and some other thing. I really don't know. I don't know. I see a lot of money is going to agriculture, though.
Whew.
I don't know.
Yep, sorry about that. I was just looking. I know it's billions and billions of dollars for the Ministry of Health. Billions upon billions of dollars. And look at the sad story you just heard there. And not only that, there is a situation also at the New Amsterdam Hospital. Horrible conditions. We saw cats liming next to the hospital maternity ward. We saw rats. We saw dirty washroom. The water cannot, toilets probably cannot flush. The sink isn't operable. All these different things. These guys, Adam, these guys in the installed PPP regime, they just don't care.
I don't know. I mean, you can only be as good as the tool you're given to work.
Billions of dollars, bad management, just the wrong person they have there as the Minister of Health. Simple as that.
No. You got the nurses who need to be properly led, the matrons and the ward sisters, whatever you call them. They should be firm. And if they are firm, then that situation would change. Perhaps there isn't a visiting committee. Just the other day, they had a maternal death in Region 6. I saw a statement from the hospital. I don't know what went wrong. The previous PPP administration had set up a committee to investigate and report on every maternal death. I don't know if that has happened.
No,
but it got to do
many maternal deaths under the PPP. But I'm told here, look, $53 billion, man. Look at it, $53.5 billion for 2021. Where is that
Alright.
money going? I'm sure when you look at the consultants, you look at the advisors, and that's where the money is going. That is exactly where the money is going, and maybe other places too. But it's not going where it's supposed to go, so that people like this young lady who was just on and is brave enough to talk her story, it's not going for them, but it is going up somewhere else. Adam, I don't know, man. It's a minute after 10. I want us to get back to, I want
My
us to get,
bedtime.
yeah, that's okay, Adam. I have seen you out late at nights, 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in
When
the
I was
morning.
younger.
Let's start. We're hearing about this. What's going on with this suggestion of renaming Middle Street Gandhi Street?
I would prefer to see the street named after a Guyanese. I, I don't understand the suggestion. There are reports, for example, that the Mahatma had a problem with people black like me. He tried to ensure that Indians weren't treated the same way as the Kafirs, the black people. And there are documented cases. In that case, in this country, I don't know that. I mean, he's a revered person, a revered person. I mean, I don't want to say that he was a racist, although there are suggestions that he was. I don't think that the suggestion is good. I mean, it's a good suggestion, but not for Guyana.
Maybe I'll head to India, and I'll ask them in New Delhi to rename one of the streets Benschop Street or Adam Harris Street.
Well,
I don't know whether that's possible, but without without getting into the controversies of this guy, Mahatma Gandhi, I am in total disagreement of Middle Street being renamed Gandhi Street. Totally. I was told that there will be a protest Friday in front of the Indian High Commissioner's office. Protest by Guyanese this coming Friday. It's a bad idea, bad suggestion, and it came allegedly from the Indian High Commissioner. I don't know. Horrible, horrible. The fire chief sent on leave. Let's get your take on that, Adam.
Well, I mean, sending the fire chief on leave is one thing. The entire fire service should be sent on leave. That fire, well, the fire tenders couldn't take at top speed, couldn't take more than 10 minutes to get the brick down. And I don't know what kind of training they had. Yes, the building is old. Yes, the fire would have spread pretty quickly. But I think better could have been done. Better could have been done. I mean, it's disappointing to see an iconic building like the Brickdown Police Station go up in flames. That in itself, being so close to the Guyana Fire Service, is an embarrassment. You got to wonder what else can go up. We have fire hydrants. Years ago, many years ago, routinely, the Guyana Fire Service used to drive around and test the hydrants. I don't think that's being done now. There was a big quarrel about who owns the hydrants. One said City Hall, another said GWI. Both of them said not them. I think that the government should, once and for all, make a determination on the hydrants. Where I live in Tocqueville, you got a hydrant to the head there. I never see it working. When I moved here in 79, it worked. I don't think it's working now. And all I can do is pray to God that we don't get a fire in this area. Um, So the whole fire services, it needs revamping. Needs revamping. We need Georgetown as a wooden city. That is changing very rapidly. It's becoming a concrete jungle. But we should have been testing the fire hydrants. Sharon was concrete and glass, and that went up so quickly. And the fire service wasn't that far away. I don't know. I don't know what's happening. Every now and then I see
And
them.
billions of dollars every year, taxpayers' monies, and
Yeah,
it's
I
so
don't know.
ineffective.
I don't
I
know.
think it has a lot to do with training as well. And this is not to knock those firefighters, but when governments spend billions upon billions of dollars buying equipment and trucks and hose or what? Sorry, I said horse. I'm sorry. Because in country that's what they say. Hey, pass a horse by, but some people may misinterpret what I've said there. But and so take a look at the hose. Take a look at them. It doesn't make sense, man. It doesn't make sense at all. Adam Harris, a lot of things do not make sense under this
I know.
installed regime.
I know.
A lot of things. I know you
You
have
know,
to go. It's your bedtime because I need to talk about some more stuff, but I'll ask you to just wrap up. You should wrap up since you have to go. Take a minute or 2 minutes to wrap up on
all
anything
right.
you want to say before you go.
All right. The one point I want to make is, first of all, Parliament has not been meeting as regularly as it should, and that's a concern. The other thing is that the various service commissions have not been existing anymore. The Public Procurement Commission doesn't exist. The Police Service Commission doesn't exist. The Public Service Commission doesn't exist. The Ethnic Relation Commission, I think the secretary is there and the chairman is doing some work. But I mean, why is there no hurry to have statutory bodies duly instituted? I mean, you don't have a public procurement commission, and that bothered me because contracts are being awarded, and a peeved contractor doesn't have a place to which he can complain. I was a bit upset when I saw Chinese contractor getting St. Rose's High School. There's taxpayers' money. We have local contractor. Courtney Ben had it. You took it from him. Um, David Patterson explained the reason for the slot in Courtney Ben getting around to things. You tender. I don't know if he tendered again, but you give a Chinese man. Guyanese need work. I noticed that that's another trend that's bothering me. We are bringing in foreign contractors to the exclusion of local contractors. That does not make sense. It doesn't augur well for this country if we're talking about development and keeping money in the country and all of that. At one time, we kicked up a big fuss about spending money to buy foreign foods. You talk about buying local foods and so provide employment for the local farmers. Now, here we are providing employment for foreigners at the expense of the locals and the taxpayers. That is worrying, very worrying.
That's all.
You want me to talk all night?
Talk for another minute.
Mark, no. There's a lot wrong, and sometimes I have to ask myself, where's the political opposition? I mean, these are things that I observe. I've been accused, yes, I am affiliated to a political party, but I am not a politician. And I would expect that the opposition politicians would have made their voices heard. Don't tell me that you don't have media outlet. Social media abounds in this place. And a lot of people would log into social media before they look at the established media. The circulation for all the big papers gone down. social media is the way to go. Mark, you're popular and you're using social media exclusively.
Now,
I don't.
we're broadcast, Adam, via 107.1 FM. You see, a lot of
Yes,
people,
yes,
I got
yes.
to remind them that we also broadcast on the ground, and that is what makes it unique. But you've asked a good question. You made a good point, and I want to say this: that as much as I know, almost all of the PPP ministers and the MPs don't like me, and I'm not concerned about whether they like me or not. Of course, they should. I'm not a bad looking guy. But they have a heck of a lot of opposition MPs who would love to see me go out of business, who would love to see me off the air. Trust me, a heck of a lot of them. But go ahead.
Yeah, but I mean, even then, I mean, the opposition should be organized to deal with these issues. I remember one former minister saying that the midterm or half-yearly report was slow. I saw that it came out and it's to be presented to the National Assembly. No, I mean, the half-yearly report coming out in October instead of around June or July. That in itself warranted criticism. The Auditor General was asked to audit the flood distribution money. He claimed that he couldn't because of COVID. However, a government minister is going after the what you call it, the flood relief money. And some people are claiming that, well, we didn't get, and I heard Mr. Jagdi at a press conference saying, um, we will investigate and we will check. You're telling me that they gotta do the Auditor General work? Again, people are paid to work. And if you're paid to work, you must work. You can't have a job and then find the excuse not to do it. A lot of people got fired for merely being or perceived to be aligned to a political party. You fire people who don't work, unless it's a case of giving money for the sake of giving money. I don't know. I really
Before you
don't know.
go, I know you because I want to talk to the listeners as well. They don't have any other show. I don't think so. So I don't want to sit down and delay, make it appear as though I'm delaying persons going on other people's show. But I don't think there's another show. I want you to listen to this here and give us your opinion.
The law is very clear. There has to be severance benefits. There have to be benefits that you give in terms of severance pay, in terms of what pensions had been paid. You got to give back people money. We have to make right with that wrong that was done when you just dismiss people. Don't they have any rights? Don't they have any benefits? And then you not only send them home and they can't work, you refuse to give them the benefits that they're entitled to. So how could they look after their family?
Final severance packages were paid out to redundant sugar workers today. Anara Khan was on the ground at the Wales and Enmore estates. She tells us that the sugar workers who collected their final severance payments are looking forward to improving their lives.
I should thank the president, Mr. Ranger, whatever, and Nagamutu, whatever they do for us today. I'm grateful for it beside me and all the other Cane Quarter.
Interesting. I mean, what you did there is a case of nailing a lie. You know, for my friend Sanjeev to suggest that there was no severance pay is bad. It's, I mean, akin to the president saying that there was never extrajudicial killing in Guyana. That is something that shocked me. You know, you don't rewrite history like that. You don't rewrite history like that.
All right. The liars upon lies upon lies upon lies upon lies indeed. Adam, don't be a stranger. We want you to return right here on 107.1 FM because we reach the people on the ground as well. And in a battle, political or otherwise, the ground troops matter. Ground troops matter. Right, Chanel Smith Daniels? Thank you so much, Adam Harris.
All right. And thank you too, Mark.
Thank you. Okay.
All right.
That's your bad. Look, here's what's happening. Back to this guy. The police want to charge him, and they're planning on charging him tomorrow. They got an extension, and this is something that I've told you guys here, right? Because I can read the police inside out, right? They rushed to the High Court. They got an extension secretly. They got an extension. And that extension expires tomorrow afternoon. But guess what they're going to want to do? They're going to want to rush to have this guy charged even before. Now, there are two things they can do. They can charge him for the first crime that they claim that he committed, which was robbery. Remand him to prison so that they can get another couple days to fabricate whatever they have to fabricate as it pertains to the fire that they're claiming that this young man committed. Now they're also saying that this young man is a liar. They're saying that he has lied about this and that he has lied about that. So if they got 5 things that they're saying he has lied about, and they want you to disbelieve this guy, to not to trust him, he's not trustworthy. That is what they want you, the general public, to believe. But they don't want you to say that the confession that he gave them is also a lie. They don't want you to say that that is a lie, that they are lying, that this guy actually gave that confession under duress. But guess what they did? The police didn't call the lawyers of this guy. They didn't call Mr. Ronald Daniels or Miss Kiswana Jefford or Nigel used to say, lawyers, we heard what you guys said after meeting with Mr. Green. We're inviting you lawyers to come to my office, the Commissioner of Police office, or the Crime Chief's office to review this confession tape. They haven't called Nigel, they haven't called Daniels, they haven't called Jefford to sit down in the Commissioner's office or the Crime Chief's office to review this tape. They didn't. Now, if they do not have anything to hide, my opinion, they would have called the lawyers to say, gentlemen and lady, sit and watch this tape from beginning to end. The fact that they haven't done that simply means, in my opinion, that the police have something to hide. Now, this is what they did. They called a PPP-connected online media house newsroom, and they said to newsroom's reporters, come, sit and watch this tape. But what they did is that they only showed newsroom a piece of this so-called confession tape. A piece of the confession tape. That is all they did. A little piece. And newsroom now ran away as fast as possible. They were happy. Hallelujah. And so they got back into the office to spread this propaganda on behalf of the Guyana Police Force as it pertains to this particular crime and accusation against that man, Clarence Green. That is all they're saying. But they never called the police. Again, to me, and I know to many of you, that it is suspicious. It is not only suspicious, it is highly highly suspicious. Now, who do we believe? Do we believe a young man who is known to the police, who have been in the lockups quite a few times, and that the police are now claiming that he lied to them about his name? But the thing is, family members have said that his name is Clarence Green. Akeem, maybe Akeem Clarence Green or Clarence Akeem Green. That is his name. The police now wants you to believe that the young man is lying about his name. They're saying that the police is saying that he has lied about his name. It turns out now that the police is lying, that the young man is lying about his name. The police is the one that is lying now. They claim that he gave them a wrong address. The young man said that he cannot remember giving them any wrong address at all. So what the police is attempting to do is to paint a picture for you guys to believe that this young man is a pathological liar, that he lies, that he's not to be trusted. That is what the police want you guys to believe, that he's not to be trusted. Then if he's not to be trusted, why then the police is holding on and trusting this alleged confession statement by this young man? You guys see where I'm heading with this, right? You see exactly where I'm heading with this. The police can't have it both ways, even though some may prefer it that way in terms of a statement and what they're trying to have you, members of the public, consume. It is just impossible. So the other thing that they're saying is that lawyers are politically motivated. The utterances and the statement by the lawyers has been fabricated. All these things they're trying to say. But the people are not stupid. The people know who are the ones that are fabricating this whole story to make it appear that that young man is the culprit. Now, even if the young man says, assuming that that's what he said, because the police is saying that that's what he said, he told his lawyers that that's not what he said. Now, even if, let us say, that the police wants us to believe their story, lots of things have to be taken into consideration. That even if he said that, the question is it possible? Is it really possible that they're saying, according to the PPP mouthpiece newsroom, after they claimed that they saw a piece of this so-called confession video, that this young man supposedly set afire this building. Immediately after that, he went to sleep in his cell. So he started this fire and he decided that he's going to sleep whilst the fire is burning. Something doesn't add up. But the Guyana Police Force must understand by now, they must know by now, that the people, majority of you listeners, did not go to IFLOT University. You did not get your degree from IFLOT University at all. Y'all are not stupid. Y'all are not stupid at all. And y'all are not buying that story. So far what I've been saying to you guys in terms of the sequence, it has happened step by step. I told you they're going to say he gave wrong name. I told you they're the ones going to say that he gave a wrong address, because I know these things. I understand these things. I know the police force inside out. And most of them, especially the detectives, They're no angels. Some of them have been accused of torturing people into making and giving a confession. So I know. So here's what the next step. Here's what's going to happen. They may not issue a statement tonight, but look out for the charges tomorrow. They may rush and drag that young man before the court. Possibly charge him for the crime that they first picked him up for, which is armed robbery. We don't know who the victim is as yet, but they may charge him for that. As they try to fabricate more evidence in order to implicate him in the fire. So since the court extension time expires tomorrow afternoon, guess what? They're not going to go back for a second extension because the legal advisor for the police, I believe her name is Miss Joseph, will advise that he be charged for burning down the Brigham police station. Reporters, prepare to head to court tomorrow. Prepare for that. And then when they go to court, there's another level in this. The file is not ready. The file is not ready. The file is not ready. Meanwhile, that young man, Green, will be languishing in prison. That is their objective. Case done. They removed all of the evidence. They don't want any other version other than that young man set the place afire, went to sleep, smelled smoke, got up, and started to put out whatever smoke. He's got to be a madman if that is the case, according to what the police want us to believe. I don't believe that, man. I don't believe. But I've got to go. I got to go drink me some hot Milo. But before I go, there is some sort of information about some member of parliament doing something or whatever, alleged. I don't know what it is. But parliament is out of session. They return sometime this month. And when they're in parliament, they eat good food. They eat good food when they're in parliament. Some of those MPs, some of them, when they're out of parliament, they also eat. And when they eat good food. I'll leave it as that. If you know, you know. If you don't know, you don't know. I'll be back tomorrow. Same place, same time. Mwah. God bless you all. So long.
I'm in the mood. I'm feeling rude. I'm feeling hot. I want to run. The feeling exciting. So darling, let's do something. I wanna rub my body on your body. Body on your body. Let me rub my body on your body. I wanna rub my body on your body. I wanna rub and love up. I wanna rub and kiss up. I wanna rub and jam up. I wanna rub and rub up. I wanna rub my body on your body. Rub my body on your body. Let me rub my body. Rub my body on your body. just get paid. I want to play. The vibes is right. I wanna hug up tight. No time to waste. I wanna work my ways. So come on, babes. Give me a taste. I wanna rub my body on your body. I wanna rub my body on your body. Let me rub my body on your body. I wanna rub my body on your body. I wanna rub and love up. I wanna rub and kiss up. I wanna rub and jam up. I wanna rub and rub up. I wanna rub my body on your body. I wanna rub my body on your body.
It's hard, it's hard, it's hard to be at peace with the ones who are so discard. It's hard, it's hard, it's hard. Them have a knife in your back and them smile it so good. Help me to deal with the ones them who said them love me when them really don't. Help me to deal with the fans them kill me flesh when the crowd are shout. Jesus, help me on the battlefield. Jesus, help me on the battlefield. Help me on the battlefield. Cause the booby traps with them set is real. I never want to take your glory, Lord. Send your angels to encamp around about me and stand guard. To envy is so easy and to love it is so hard. Let me work for your glory and not for the award. Don't make me ever get caught up in the scream and the applause and go talk about the blessing and not talk about the Lord. All these things are vanity. I need your reward. Let me be real. Don't put on no facade. Help me to deal with the ones them who said them love me when them really don't. Help me to deal with the fans them kill me flesh when the crowd are shout. Jesus, help me on the battlefield. Jesus, help me on the battlefield. Help me on the battlefield. Cause the booby traps with them set is real. Sticks and stones can break my bones and words can harm me. They can harm me. When the evil come against me, you'll protect me. You'll protect me. Father, I need the strength of your son. Cause you know my work is not done. Lord, I need that endurance just to finish this race that I run. Help me to deal with the ones them who said them love me when them really don't. And help me to deal with the fans them kill me flesh when the crowd are shout. Jesus, help me on the battlefield. Jesus, help me on the battlefield. Help me on the battlefield. Cause the booby traps with them set is real. You tell me if you stand firm, cause every little plan you have a confirm. I know them evil plan turn. In a darkness me a the lantern. So help me if you deal with the ones that who said them love me when them really don't. Jesus, help me if you deal with the fans them kill me flesh when the crowd are shout. Help me on the battlefield. Jesus, help me on the battlefield. Help me on the battlefield. Cause the booby traps with them set is real. Help me to deal with the ones them who said them love me when them really don't. Help me to deal with the fans them kill me flesh when the crowd are shout. Jesus, help me on the battlefield. Jesus, help me on the battlefield. Help me on the battlefield. Cause the booby traps with them set is real. Help me to deal with the ones them